Hi, Matt Casey here, Data Science Content Lead with Snorkel AI. I'm here today with Daniel Shu, Product Lead, also at Snorkel AI. Daniel, can you introduce yourself further?
Hey, Matt. Really excited to come talk to you today. My name is Daniel. I'm a product lead here at Snorkel, working on our enterprise readiness initiatives. We'll be talking about one of our new releases in Q1, specifically focused on data upload access controls.
Well, that sounds great, and we're doing a little demo, right?
Today, I'm going to essentially show you how an admin can gate access to data coming into Snorkel. One of the main problems that our large enterprises have is they don't want their teams to arbitrarily access data and bring it into Snorkel without some sort of control. From the perspective of the enterprise admin, what they want to be able to say in a multi-tenant environment is certain teams have access to certain types of data upload methods. And on top of that, those teams can then control access at a role as well as at a workspace level. So I'm going to show you just how this works in real time. So the most basic case is a lot of our large enterprises are potentially uncomfortable with users uploading files from their local computer. As an enterprise admin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially turn off the ability to do this local file upload. So in this case, I'm going to disable access to this connector. Once I disable it, if I go into this page here and I hit upload new dataset, I can see that local file upload as a data source is no longer selected. So I can click on any of the other ones, but I can't click local file upload. And then when I turn this back on, and I go here, I hit upload new dataset, it's back on.
I understand there's more complexity to this. Can we move on to the more complex use cases here?
One of the other use cases that I mentioned is the concept of being able to set role and workspace level overrides. So a great example here is, say, for SQL database, what I want to do is I want to say admins and above have access to SQL database, but say nobody else does, right? So in this case, what I'll say is admins have access to this across all workspaces. So in this case, only admins have access to SQL database because I've explicitly indicated that they have access to this dataset upload method. So when I go to here, where I am an admin within Workspace 2, I can still see that, hey, I have access to this connector, right? So I can still essentially make use of this. But in this other workspace, where I am essentially a annotator, developer, or reviewer, if I try to then upload a dataset, SQL database is turned off.
So these controls can get a little bit more granular, right?
Yes, that's absolutely the case. So I'm going to show you an example for Databricks SQL, where in this case, what I'm going to say is for admins, they have the ability to not only access Databricks SQL, they have the ability to create and update existing configs. Whereas for all other roles, they only have the ability to view existing configs and use them, but they can't actually edit them. So let's go in. So what I'll say is, hey, for admins, I will allow them to create, delete, read, and update existing configs. So I will do this for Workspace 2. And then I'll add a new rule for Databricks SQL. I'll only allow this to be read and use existing. And I'll say, hey, for, say, developers within Workspace 1, they will only be able to read and use existing Databricks SQL. So if I go to upload new dataset and I go into Databricks SQL, what I can see is, hey, this config already exists. So when I want to essentially edit it, I can. So I'm currently in Workspace 2. I'm an admin, so I have the ability to create, read, update, delete as an admin within Workspace 2, right? Notice that the access token, even though we already persist the configuration, is not visible to the user. So that's a security benefit. However, if I am in Workspace 1 and I try to use Databricks SQL, you can see here that I can only actually use existing test config, but I can't add and I can't modify it. So in this case, it's only visible to me and I can use it, but I can't actually change it. Now, as an admin, I have much finer grained control over who has access to what configuration. Sometimes our enterprise IT admins want the ability to essentially define service account controls, or they want the ability to define shared configs that everyone should be able to have access to, but nobody should actually be able to modify, right? So think of this as like, hey, this specific workspace that belongs to this specific team, only the team admin has the ability to configure which data source or data lake they should be able to pull from, but nobody should be able to actually modify that underlying credential. So they can make use of that credential, but they can't see it, and they can't actually do anything with it besides just use it. They can't modify it. I'm really excited about this feature. I hope you are too, and all of our customers are. If you have any other questions for me, or like what we're going to be releasing sometime shortly for enterprise readiness, feel free to reach out to your Snorkel representative.
Sounds great. Well, Daniel, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Matt.